So let all of us settle down. Though I am not a very big proponent of settling down in life, settled people are the most, what shall I say? Yeah, they should be unsettled because if we are too settled, we stop advancing. So it's good to be a little unsettled. There is something we are as if hardwired to keep on moving. And when we think that we have found something, we have a tendency to seek something else, something more. This is part of a journey, part of a nature. So is it good to be settled or it's not so good to be settled? Now it's sounding it's not good, yes. Yes. But we hear it right from childhood. Settle hona hai. Okay, so it's good to be little unsettled. Settling down means we get into our comfort zones. We are all looking for comfort zones, some kind of security. It's there in human nature. And we try all kinds of things. We are conditioned that if we have this, we'll be secure. If we have that, we'll be settled. But there are times when all these walls of comfort crumble around us. Right? Is it a good event or a bad event? I don't have a subject, so I'm just picking up. Yes. But normally, what is the explanation that is given? Bura hua. Now tell me, yeah? People will feel sorry, they will say karma or whatever else. Something has to be blamed upon, or somebody other than you has to be blamed for what's happening in your life. But now, when we look deeply, is this really something which can help us take a leap or not? Yes. So it's deep inside when we look at life this way, as you rightly said, it can turn out to be a transformative event. So blessed are those who face the sting of misfortune. Okay. History is full of these examples. I need not repeat it. Okay? So it changes our whole perspective. After all, it's a question of how we look at life. What is fortune and what is misfortune? If that be so, what should we do when we are faced with this kind of a situation where our walls are crumbling down? Should we try to rebuild them, go back into a huddle, or try to experience the bird out of the cage? It's a great uncertainty. Freedom is frightening. True freedom, it's very frightening. We always want things to hold on to. And when we have nothing to hold on to, not even the earth below our feet, then we can fly. So, what is required inwardly to fly when you are out of the cage? Instead of feeling afraid and going back. So, there are in psychiatry, we have this thing called as stress response. Anyone has heard about it? So, when you are faced with a stress, you can make one of the three responses: fight, flight, or most people know fight or flight. Okay, as a psychiatrist, I'll tell you there is one more which you won't find in standard textbook, but there are books of psychiatry which mention it as freeze. Notice you're just freeze. You don't know what to do. You're paralyzed. But there is a fourth response. That is fly. And that fly here means not fly off to some place, but fly off to another dimension of existence with which we were unaware of. And when we do that, things change. It's not an escape. from things, but it's an effort to try to understand, make sense of things. So, as Menka was mentioning, that we are a group of seekers, and it's good to be seekers. Man is by nature a seeker, and a person who doesn't have questions, who is not seeking, is as good as the tree. Right? Even trees are seeking. They are not conscious of their seeking. So all of us in some way are seekers. Some are seeking unconsciously and some are seeking consciously. Let's put it in perspective. When we say that I am looking for a job, money and all these things, basically what I am seeking? Security. I believe that this will give me security. I am not discussing whether it's right or wrong. In a relationship, we have our list of Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect. See, perfect understanding, perfect love, perfect. So what are we really seeking? Perfect love. Right? In terms of knowledge, we are constantly advancing because we want to arrive at some kind of a knowledge where there is no chance or scope of mistake or error. Truth, we may use the word truth. Freedom, perfect freedom. Just as an aside, what is perfect freedom? To do whatever we feel like?
The freedom always comes with a certain responsibility.
That of course, yes, of course. But what?
Right now is perfect freedom.
Well, that's where, as you rightly said, we have put conditions even to perfect freedom. Because when you go back, the freedom will go away in that case. Some people believe that if they are in a monastery, they are free, or if they are practicing something inwardly, if they withdraw from life, world, people, they are free. Freedom is freedom when it is unconditional. In bonds, you are free, then you are free. If you are with people who are holding you, tying you in 100 ways, yet you can be free. That's freedom. That's how Savitri defines it. This is freedom, to be in bonds, yet free. That's difficult. Running away, escaping, going somewhere, that's easy option. But to be free inside. So these are the fundamental seekings we all have. Plants seek for light, we also seek for light. But as we grow, our seeking takes a more vaster, more comprehensive form. These are the eternal seekings. Have we found the final answer? Obvious answer is no. If humanity had found the final answers, then it would not be where it is today. Somebody was asking me about the Mahabharata war and suddenly had a flash. That means people were not perfect even during Mahabharata. I said, of course. How would a civilization collapse? Something is missing. What is that missing link? There are great Swamijis. I just went to Prayagraj, so all kinds of, not to wash myself of sins, okay, not to get some moksha or something. So, there are Swamijis, each one is showing you a way to self-realization, Atma Gyan. Heard about all that, no? We have that knowledge of Atma Gyan. Problem is, still something in us is seeking. Atma Gyan is there. You can have a self-realization, you can have the experience of the true self, of the divine within, but how to integrate it with this world? We are looking for a way to integrate these two in everyday life. And another thing which we are all looking for is the meaning of existence. This is the age when we are seeking meaning of life. So if you say meaning of life is to find the self, then all this prapanch, adambar, maya, call it by whatever name, makes no sense, isn't it? Now this is very interesting if you look at last 2000 years. So from Socrates starts the age of questions. And who gives the answer? Reason gives the answer. So you have particularly last 300, 400 years, the so-called age of enlightenment. Reason came and there were answers before that which religion had given. If you are suffering, you have been a sinner, you have been condemned. These were the answers. Then reason said this all nonsense. If you are having night blindness, basically it's a vitamin A deficiency. Don't blame it on karma. And they cured it. So where was karma? So all these answers came from science. And we have so many answers. Philosophy started trailing behind. Religion started trailing behind. But if you look at even 100 years back, we had accepted answers. Maybe some of you may not have experienced, but your moms and dads would have surely experienced. When you were born, you were given this what life is about. Isn't it? लड़की को बड़ी होके घर चलाना है, that's it. शादी करनी है, घर चलाना है, बच्चे सॉरी टू से लड़कों को क्या करना है? पैसा कमाना है, घर बनाना. एंड वी जस्ट एक्सेप्टेड. सक्सेस क्या है? पैसे मिलेंगे तो सक्सेस है. यही सब था ना. सो वी हैड आंसर्स, वी हैड नो क्वेश्चंस. मोस्ट डेंजरस सिचुएशन. वी वर ऑन द ब्रिंक लिटरली. इफ आई लुक बैक 40, बड़ों का कहाँ मानना है? सॉरी टू से, हाँ, वी आर चैलेंजिंग दिस. कोई है तो नहीं बहुत बड़ा? पेरेंट्स गेट वेरी अनॉयड. हाँ, व्हाट आर यू टीचिंग? बड़े भैया तक ठीक है, हाँ ठीक है. तो नहीं, पापा मम्मी जो, देन देयर इज ए प्रॉब्लम कि क्या सिखा रहे हो? बड़ों का कहाँ नहीं मानना है. ये हमारे उपनिषद में है. सत्यकाम, नचिकेता. आई यू ओके? नो, बीच में थोड़ी हिंदी आ जाए, फ्लेवर, तड़का. सो बड़ों का कहा मानना, द वे सोसाइटी वांट्स यू टू बी, you must be that, is the answer which was given, and we accepted it, that that's how things have to be, that's how things should be, that's the way things will function well, and we just accepted those. Now what has happened in the last 20, 30 years? We are questioning everything. And that's something very, very, very beautiful. So now see what has happened. You had age of questions, Socrates had started. Then came answers given by reason. Now we are questioning reason and all the answers of reason. And at every level, in politics, we are questioning democracy. It's so strange. The highest political system that reason can understand is democracy. That okay, somehow we'll manage. But people are questioning democracy. We are questioning the religious textbooks. We are questioning the temples, we are questioning the gods, we are questioning everyone. We are questioning all the answers that science gave. I was just, hearing a podcast the other day where a scientist is saying we have approached the entire quantum physics the wrong way. And there are people who are questioning. In fact, it started 100 years back. This questioning started in science itself. Science believed that it has discovered the theory of everything. And they found that actually everything collapsed. So what collapsed was the solid world. No, we all know. I'm just passingly, I understand. I don't expect that we are students of material physics, but it's very deeply engaging. So the entire world of solid objects collapsed 100 years back. Max Planck and all this came. Schrodinger's cat and all this came. Heisenberg. Then what happened? Something else collapsed. Quantum world collapse of wave functions. And now people don't know. They're trying to figure out. At our own level, relationships collapsed. Marriages collapsed. Schools are on the verge of collapsing. They don't know. So this is very making many people uncomfortable. Kali Yug shuru ho gaya. But it's the beginning of a new era. We are living in a new era when we are questioning things. What are we questioning? The answers given by reason. I'll take one of the answers given by philosophy, religious teaching. If something bad happens in life, so what is the answer given? Standard? तुम्हारे कर्म होंगे. कौन से कर्म? Well, some past life. Now you are wondering which past life, where. You have to accept it. Though it may be your husband who is tormenting you, but it's not the husband. Mind you, your past life. How silly it can be. You are being tormented by somebody, but it's not that person, it's your past life. Kismat hai. So we had accepted all this, no? Now people are questioning it, and they should question. All the premises we should question. And those who are questioning now all the answers that reason had given, where will the answers come from? They won't come from reason. That's the beauty. Questioning always leads you to advance to the next level. It's like in a classroom. You have questions, answers, question, answer. Then after some time, you advance to another level. Because now those questions cannot be answered at this level. So you are taken up. So now we are entering, friends, the age of intuition. It may be still difficult to understand, but reason is collapsing. It's not able to give you the ultimate answers. So age of intuition is what we are entering into, quietening the mind, trying to discover yourself, trying to discover a meaning and purpose. No books will give you your meaning and purpose. You have to sense it inside. People are using this terminology also. They use the word vibes. This song also on vibes. Vibes hai. So there is an age where we are entering into a subjective age. That's how Sri Aurobindo put it. We are entering the subjective stage of where we are beginning to explore ourselves. We have explored material objects, and we have entered into a kind of strange hole where we can't figure out whether it's solid or it's particles, or even they are collapsing actually. So now we are entering into a subjective stage where we are discovering ourselves. And this is going to have far-reaching consequences. And this is where we see Sri Aurobindo helps us. How does he help us? So I use this word. He raises the ultimate questions which we shy away from. Is really God somebody who is connected with reward and punishment? If really he is no different from a CEO even a CEO would not do that. No, nowadays, corporate social responsibility. But we have painted image of. So conceptions of God are breaking down. All the old conceptions of life, of all these. So now, Sri Aurobindo has raised those questions for himself, and he becomes the person who is giving answer. And this is the beauty, just as a background, which is the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful part of Indian tradition. It's so different from any other tradition. We have to accept as a belief. So, which is the classic example of Indian tradition where you have question and you have answers, is the Bhagavad Gita. It starts from a practical question. I want to take, not even a question, I want to quit this world. We start like that, no? Oof, things are so difficult. What kind of choices am I confronting? We want to run away from battle, from fight, from struggle. And it starts by Krishna's admonition. Karpanya dosha. You're talking like a weak fellow. Face the battle of life. Take on the challenge. And then he starts by saying, how will I take on the challenge? I've heard that running away, taking a sannyas, going to join an ashram is much better. And Sri Krishna starts by saying, you have to have tyaga, not sannyas. And it goes on. Now you see, where does these questions of Arjun lead him? They lead him, his question is very simple. Should I fight or not fight? Tell me in clear words. Practical question. Where does it lead him to that great discovery? Krishna is not suddenly saying, I am God, I am telling you, better listen. Why do you ask so many questions like a typical average Indian? You better be a believer. I am God. That's end of the story. If you don't listen to me, you will be a sinner. And I'll punish you in some opposite of Vrindavan in some place. He doesn't say that. He entertains, encourages, encourages, encourages. And then at the end, after that whole thing, what does he say at the end? Anyone remembers? Man mana bhava mad bhakta madhya jima namaskuru. Think of me, remember me at all times and fight the great battle. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masucha. What does it mean? Some kind of a religious teaching, go and surrender yourself to God. Sarva dharman. All the right, wrong, duties, responsibilities, all that we can imagine. Dharma is a very wide term. I am not discussing that. But very wonderful term. It's not religion for sure. It's not just moral right and wrong. It's something much deeper. But he says, there are moments when you will be confused. You don't know which way to go. That's a problem, no? Decision making. We don't know which way to go, what to do, what not to do. And the mind and reason are not able to give you the answer for every logic. Have you observed? For everything that the reason says, you will have a counter logic. Anybody with a developed mind can justify anything. And that's why it is very bad to consult too many doctors. Okay? In the name of second opinion, because you will end up going for a third opinion. Because that's how it is. Everybody will give his own version, his own. So what do we do at that point of time? We are at a crossroad of decision making and we don't know. So Krishna tells us some very simple solution. He says, take refuge in the divine. Where is this divine? Very simple. He has explained all this. He says, I am within you in the temple of your heart. He is the closest. Why he has taken shelter there? Because otherwise we'll drag him wherever he is found and we'll start having a list of agenda. Please grant me this wish, that wish. He'll become a wish-fulfilling tree. Says to run away from everywhere. Poor fellow. But he knows man will not seek him here. So he hides inside the temple of a heart. And if we just live with this one thing, that divine is seated in our heart, and this body is his temple, many things will change in life. Many things, if we just have this thought. In Sri Aurobindo Ashram, you'll be surprised. You know, most places there is a rule. Some rules of living, some rules of... Do you know what is the rule in Sri Aurobindo Ashram? For a long time, there was no rule. So people asked Sri Aurobindo, please give some rule. We cannot live without rules. Difficult for us. You don't have yama niyam also. So Sri Aurobindo gave this rule. Live always as if you were under the gaze of the Divine Mother, because she is indeed always present. Just if we live just with this one idea that the Divine is everywhere, in everything, this itself will free us from so many fears, actually all fears. Think about it. You are caught in a situation. I don't know what worse situation can one imagine. Being trapped in a household or terrorist in front. Whatever be the situation. If you take it that the divine is there with me as a friend, as a helper, all that is required is that leap of faith. And hand over your responsibilities to the divine. People often say, let go. No, this is a term we use. And now people are going to Sangam to let go of their sins. But you know why it doesn't go back, comes back? Because they have to keep going again and again every 4 years or 12 years. Do you know why it comes back? One reason that Sri Ramakrishna gave is that they leave their dress, go back and wear it. But there is another reason. They let go of the sin, but they don't let go of the robe of virtue. That's the story of Shri Krishna and the gopis. If you try to become virtuous, be 100% sure that all its opposite will one day come to you. These are just some of those. You can have questions, and I'll be very happy. Just try to be his child. What is a child? He is free from either. If you try to be virtuous, surely vice will find its way, wriggle its way. There are two sides of one coin. The word is non-dual. Nowadays people speak. But non-dual is not this dual and that is non-dual. But I'm not going into Vedanta right now. Come back to the subject. Let go. So what does it mean, let go? Where do we let go? Whom do we let go? So the simplest way is let go to the divine presence. Within, around, anywhere. Hand over your difficulties. That's how the mother puts it. Hand over your difficulties to the divine. Have faith, and he will do everything for you. Now, this reason will not agree, but intuition will agree. Rational sense will say, what do you mean? I don't see the divine. As if everything in the world I am seeing. Imagine if you tell somebody, you love me, really, show me. Poor fellow will be hard put to test. All the gifts will not convince that you love the person. Isn't it? But yet you may be feeling love in your heart. So, when we use the word let go, it means there is a vast ocean of love and light all around us, above us. That's what Sri Aurobindo used the word supernature. But we have this limited operating system, our human nature. And we don't want to, we want to be very self-sufficient, independent guys, which is good. So the divine allows us, like Arjun and Pandav, till the time, they right up to Mahabharat, Kurukshetra, he is not saying anything. He is not saying do's and don'ts. He is simply saying, I'll be only a charioteer. Arjun makes a choice, he says, okay. Does he give any counsel? He doesn't give counsel beyond what is normally required. But there comes a time of crisis when Arjun tells to Shri Krishna, Shishyasteham sadhimam, I am confused, I don't know what to do. You be my guide, not just a charioteer, but a charioteer of the ways of life. And then he says, got it. Ab pakda gaya. And the result is the Gita, and the result is Arjun, the Swed, the fair one. You know what does the word Arjun means? Means the fair one. Gudakesh, all these things, the conqueror of night, of sleep. And look, he becomes. This is the difference. So when we surrender to God, what does he do? He doesn't finish us, he aggrandizes us. He releases all the divine possibilities held back inside us. That's what he does. That's his job description actually. He releases the divine elements in our nature. But surrender requires one thing which surrender requires. Anyone? Faith we have spoken about. It requires. Okay, yes, acceptance will be there. Absolutely. It requires great courage. We are afraid. It requires tremendous courage. You'll be surprised. Surrender requires courage. Even to accept divine requires humility, but surrender requires courage. Because most of us hold on to armor of the ego. Yes, it requires courage. It requires great courage to trust someone and hand over. Okay, you take care of me. It's not an easy act. Let me tell you that, surrender is one of the most difficult acts for human beings. But if you can do it, life is over. Destiny is fixed or freed. What does a bird do? We started with the example of the bird. What does a bird do? Surrenders. Nobody has taught it flying. It surrenders. Animals do it instinctively, actually. All animals do it instinctively. Then man starts calculating that the age of reason. In the age of intuition, we too will do it, but we'll do it intuitively, consciously. That yes, there is something known as the divine to whom we can really hand over ourselves, who will take care. And logically also, though I'm not touching that right now, if somebody has a question, it's okay. There can be nothing else but the divine. But that's just a statement. But we can logically understand that yes, divine exists and we can connect with him because we are a portion of him. So that's what, in a nutshell, is the entire panorama. When we surrender ourselves to the divine mother, the supernature, what does she do? She starts taking us up and releasing the divine possibilities inside us. The release of these divine possibilities is the transmutation, transformation. We have divine possibilities inside us. And we can't do it by ourselves. We can try, but we'll end up making a mockery. So when we use the word we should love everybody, we understand human love. That's the only framework. But human love will invariably bring its reaction. Anger, hate, all the rest. Love story becomes hate story, part 1 to God knows how many. Right? Because human virtue is like, it's limited by the human frame. You make any human quality humanly understood as your friendship. Look at friendship is something so beautiful. What happened to Karna led to his downfall. What is the difference? Karna stood by his friendship with Duryodhan. Arjun stood by his friendship with Krishna. What did he say? Yes, you are the one with whom I am friends. So you see, we started with the question of seeking security. It's right there, near us, nearest to us. And if we can entrust ourselves, life will grow beautiful. And that's what Sri Aurobindo says. The key process of this yoga is to surrender the ego with all its apparatus to the beyond ego. And he says it requires tremendous faith. And it requires will. What does the will? Will has to persist, because the journey, surrender doesn't mean, okay, life will become easy. People often ask, I'm having big problem with my husband and I'm praying to the mother. I've surrendered to her. I said, what are you expecting, your husband to change? But she will change you. First you will stop bothering, and when you stop bothering, probably this fellow will begin to change. Is he not even bothered? Okay, so she will change us, and what will happen of the person is not the issue, but he who surrenders. Journey may not be easy. When Arjun surrendered to Sri Krishna, doesn't mean suddenly he said, okay, now that you have surrendered to me, I am going to take out my magic wand and start playing the flute, and all the Kauravas fell at his feet and said, oh, we did a big mistake, we have undergone a change in heart, and they were all, no. Kurukshetra is there. Don't run away from Kurukshetra. Why it is there? Because we have to grow into the Godhead. Can we do it without challenges? Can strength and wisdom develop? No. That's why we have the storms of life. But if you go through these storms, handing ourselves to the Divine Mother, then not only we'll go through them safe and protected through everything, but also in the process when you come out, you'll grow into something much different, much more, if I may use the word, divine rather than human. This is, in a nutshell, the yoga of transformation. We say, where is the practice? This is the practice. How to do it? We all have some idea of divine. Even if we don't have, people often say, I don't believe in divine. So I tell them, don't worry, divine believes in you. Don't have to worry. So all that you need to do is take the divine name, whatever name connects you to the divine. And keep on passing on. Make the divine your friend. Don't shut him in a cupboard or a temple or a gurudwara or a mosque or a church or any such place. He's there also. Okay, let him be there. That's because some people don't believe that you can discover him, so they need to go there. But for us, he's accessible. Bring him into your bedroom. Or if you are very lucky, walk into divine's bedroom. Then he'll disclose his secret plans. Call him wherever, in the washroom, everywhere. How to call him? Pick up a name which connects you. And slowly you will see your life undergoing marvelous change. All who have gone have ultimately walked this way. With a little anecdote, I'll stop. Once I was talking with one of my dear friends, very not only erudite in terms of, I don't know of anyone who has read so many scriptures, and very inwardly developed, intuitive, Chotnarayan Sharma. He was, of course, 40 years, but we used to gel well. He could remember the Upanishads, the Gita, and all this, probably left to right and vice versa, right to left. So one day he was just sharing in one of those intimate moments that, I have found after all this reading, learning, he said, I have found that, माँ का नाम में बहुत शक्ति है. So honestly, I was still, that 20s, 28, I said, yeah, I believe in mother. But then he was quoting an example of somebody. I said, हाँ, लेकिन मतलब I didn't have any doubts about it, but at the same time, I didn't just take it like that. Today I am 64, had my own journey, still going on. And if somebody asked me, what should I do? I'll say, take mother's name. God's name has a great power in it. Time-tested formula. If you are looking for a formula, a method, mother was asked by her disciple, tell us one method. You are showing us this transformation, human body changing into divine body, all this is wonderful. What should we do? What pranayam? What this thing? And Sri Aurobindo in fact says all these are past. He uses this. All these techniques, they are past. So she says, give us one method. She says, I'll do it for you. He said, no, that's okay, but we want to do something. You are telling me open to me, but I don't know, something we should do. No, we have that ego, something we must do. We must feel how many pranayams I did, how many hours of meditation I sat, so that we can write in the book of divine. 3 hours I sat for meditation. You better remember. Huh? God will laugh at us. Don't make a fool of me. You were sitting. Sitting is not equivalent to meditation. So anyways, after much coaxing, she says, okay, one method if you are asking. Then she speaks about the mantra and she says, the japa, and just calling mother's name. Sri Aurobindo's letter is there. There is no method in this yoga except to take the mother's name and mine. And can we imagine what it means? How can a name be so powerful? When you are caught in a traffic jam, when somebody stops you, you flash your, I know the Prime Minister, see my photo. I had a photo taken there. That's how people behave, no? That's for the outer people. Some may agree, some may not agree. But behind the outer world, there are forces beyond measure. We have no idea about it. There is a web of forces, worldwide web, which is of several layers. 1G, 2G, 3G, 5G, 9G. Several layers of webs in which we are caught. We don't know. We are pushed to speak. We are pushed to think, and we think it's my thought, I spoke, I felt. But the moment you say, Ma, oh, okay, pass. Because they understand what you mean when you use the word mother's name. But that's the practice one should do sincerely. So I don't know which direction I have gone, but that's where I would love to have questions if you have questions. There is no limit to the questions that you can ask. Yes, please.
What is the difference in surrendering to the mother versus surrendering to a religious deity?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What is the difference between surrendering to the mother vis-a-vis surrendering to a deity, surrendering to guru? To start with, whomever you believe in, you should surrender. I am using the word mother because of the context. By no means, please don't, the mother and Sri Aurobindo are too vast. They don't want to convert people that, I am greater, such. No, not at all. Because faith is important. You can't surrender just like that. If you have faith in a deity, surrender to the deity. If you have faith in Krishna, surrender to Krishna. If you don't have faith in anyone, at least trust yourself. Minimum. So, anyways. Now, but then we come to the larger impersonal side of the question. Each deity has a certain function. That's why you have different deities. There was no need to have different deities. If all deities could substitute for each other. And that we know. Lord Vishnu is the one who is, or Brahma is the one who is releasing the creation. After that, his problem is over. He has done his bit. So that's why nobody worships Brahma, because running is done by Shiva and Vishnu Bhagwan. They are the ones operating systems. If you go to Brahma, he'll say, what can I do? I have done my bit. It has run into chaos, not my problem. So, call Vishnuji. He is the one who balances. So he'll send us to Vishnu Bhagwan, and Vishnu Bhagwan is the one who has to balance everything, You go to Shiva. Shiva's method is extreme. What is all this creation? What's your problem? Sir, my problem. Come. He is Asutosh. Sometimes he will give impossible boons, which poor Vishnuji has to balance. You go to Krishna. Krishna will say, come here. He'll give you a nice little hug. And you'll feel such a delight. You will forget the problem. You'll go back to go back to creation. He will lure you. Then after some time again you will have a problem. Again you go, but through that process he will carry us. The Lok Sangrahart. I am putting it a little humorously, but that's the way of Krishna. He lures us, then leaves us. Then lures us, then leaves us. 1,000 charming faces. Still ultimately you discover the one face. So each of them has a certain function and power. So the deity whom you surrender will act according to the function given. Same problem. If you go to Shiva, he will tell you, you have a problem with your husband, you have a problem with this, you have all kinds of problems. Creation is a problem, it's all Maya. Come. Shivoham, Shivoham, Sachidanandoham. His method. You go to Krishna, he will gumao you. You will end up like Arjun, fighting the great battle, recharged, doing it for Krishna. You go to Vishnu, he'll pacify you, give you some boons, and ultimately give you a nice mala. Say, do bhakti, bhajas samam, and with this bhakti you go through life. Because he knows the evolutionary process. So, you go to Ganpati, he'll remove all the obstacles by the power of knowledge. You go to Durga, she'll protect you. So it depends on what we are seeking. Normally the deity to which we are naturally drawn, I am not talking of the family deity, is that aspect of the divine. Each of the gods and goddesses are one or the other aspect of the divine. They are real. Because the divine is real, this aspect. So depending on which one you approach, he will take you through that route. When you approach the mother, then what happens? First, not this mother, let's first talk about universal mother. In Tantra, you worship the mother. Who is the mother? Mother is the womb of all the gods, even the divine as Sachidanand. You go through the Devi Sukt and you go through the Rig Ved 10th Mandala, you will see Nasadiya Sutra. It's the divine mother who stirs this creation. Even the gods are not born. That's how the Nasadiya Sukta says, no? Which vaccine war And many people misuse it, like Sashi Tharoor saying, we don't believe in God, we are Gnostics also. No, it's something else. Even gods don't know that ultimate mystery, but the Divine Mother knows that ultimate mystery. That's how, if you read the Devi Bhagavatam, you will see that all the three gods come. They say, who has created us? And then the Divine Mother, she says, out of me you have come. So what do? You have these functions. How will we do it? We don't know. Where is the power? So she gives something of herself as powers by their side. So Divine Mother can grant anything and everything. She is in nature, beyond nature, all nature, everything. Then what about this mother? She embodies the same Divine Mother, but Divine Mother with a certain purpose. And that purpose is transformation. So there are those who are pulled to the yoga of transformation. Nobody should be ever convinced or try to convert. There is nothing like that in Sanatan Dharma, and there is nothing like that in Sri Aurobindo's yoga. But there are some people who are naturally drawn because they understand the limitations of human life. And they believe, they want a permanent answer to the problem of earth. They are not just interested in my salvation, my issues. They are interested in issues which vex humanity since ages. There are some sirfira log like that, okay? So, for them, the Divine Mother gives the solution, which is transformation. So, if you are a seeker after the yoga of transformation, then the Divine Mother, in this form that she has come today, as Mira Alfasa, you must have read somewhere her name, which also, if you put the initials, it is M-A, so it still becomes Ma, then it is Ma. Otherwise, read the songs of Ram Prasad, reads the stories of Sri Ramakrishna. What is it that the Divine Mother cannot give or cannot do? Because she is also, as Aditi, mother of the gods. So, in this incarnation of Mother, she embodies those aspects. So, you can pray to her for even general things. It's not like a taboo. Oh, if I am not into yoga of transformation, I cannot connect. No, because she already embodies. The moment Divine Mother incarnates, she embodies those aspects. But specifically for the yoga of transformation, that she alone can grant. So, this is the difference. I hope that's clear, no? Yeah. Yes, of course.
Does the choice of the person or the deity or whoever you're surrendering to, does that also matter at all?
Does it?
The act of surrendering matters, or the choice of the person or the guru that you're surrendering to, does that matter?
You won't reach that point unless the Guru has sanctioned. Take it for granted. Deities are not unconscious deities sitting in temple where you go and say, I am surrendering. If you have had the urge to surrender to Shiva, Shiva has called you. If you feel the urge to surrender to Krishna, his flute has been heard by the soul. If you feel the urge to surrender to Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, that means basically they have told you, come, my child. Sri Aurobindo writes one of his Mahavakya, he who chooses the infinite has been chosen by the infinite. So they are not unconscious creatures like us. By the way, suddenly you enter Temple Tree and wow, wonderful place. Temple Tree is calling you. So that's how it operates. We think that we are surrendering to the Guru and we have come to the Guru. But the real truth is, Guru has called you, whoever be the Guru. And he has called you, you have reached that point. That's why you feel the faith and the urge to surrender. Why? Because there is something within us which is the soul, the psychic being, as Sri Aurobindo puts it, which is the true I within us, not this ego. And in this yoga, one of the first things that one has to discover is the psychic being, the true I. And it is this which is called, but surface personality doesn't know. Dr. Alok Pandey doesn't know. He is full of his questions and full of his so-called answers, puffed up with his degree and his Air Force moorings. And he is walking suddenly in a hot afternoon, not summer afternoon, but a winter afternoon. in Connaught Place, and Shobindu says, "Agya bacha, aja, bachu." And you enter a shop, you suddenly see a book, The Synthesis of Yoga, Sri Aurobindo. Oh, who is this yogi I have not read? I thought I have read every possible book. Very arrogantly, huh? You pick up, okay, one more. But something starts happening. कुछ कुछ होता है. फिर कुछ कुछ होता है turns into बहुत कुछ होता है. सब कुछ होता है. Then you start playing with God. He becomes your playmate, your friend. This is another very beautiful thing about Sanatana Dharma. And of course, Sri Aurobindo and the mother. That God is not just a guru sitting out there, oh, Guruji, he's sitting 7 steps above and you're putting all the mala and, okay, he is Raja Rajeshwar if you like sitting. But he can walk with you. See, Krishna played pranks with Arjun. Vishnu plays prank with Narad. Why? He wants to get married. And you heard about that prank of Vishnu? Oh, okay. Very interesting. Huh? What kind of God we have? Gods. Not giving instruction, do's and don'ts. No. So Narad is always happy. Then he comes to know there is a swamvar going on. He said, Lord, I have served you so long. He knows. Mischievous smile. Just a little bit of marriage permission. He said, but it's a swamvar. He says, yeah, I know, but you can make my face such that she will, the moment she sees, she'll put the varmala. He said, what do you want? You say, give me a face. I'm sure whatever face you will give will be for my good. Now he doesn't know. God is tricky, trickster. So he gives him a face. He goes in the swamvar. He is so sure. God has given me face. Who can discard it? And now everybody is laughing. And even the princess comes and ha ha. So he says, what's gone wrong? So then he sees in that pool and he sees it's got the face of a monkey. So first he curses Vishnu. One day you will need these guys, which is the Ram avatar. Then he goes to Vishnu. He said, why did you do this? He said, see, you said do what is good for me. That marriage would have been disaster. Don't you know marriage is a disaster? Old knowledge in the Puranas.
Happy you're married, huh?
Huh?
Happy you're married, take one.
Yeah, happily married is only... See, old time movies used to end with happily married, with a car going in front and, some... Why they used to do this? Because uske baad wala nahi batao.
But nowadays it's only
Just married. Nowadays it's in a relationship. Latest trend you don't know. So anyway, so he says, see, you told what is good for you. I know what is good for you. You don't trust me. Then he says, oh my God, I never thought like that. I have discovered that I didn't have sufficient faith, but I have cursed you. He says, don't worry. I have taken your curse. Everything is good. Divine turns everything into its secret good. So you'll see all the curses he turns into good. There are a whole lot of stories I have, but I am resisting the temptation to get into stories. So basically, if you have gone to the divine, so let me put it like that. I was asking all this, how did you people come? And I was so happy. First time many of you have come. Most of you, I think. All of you. Group in Mumbai and the background. Okay. Let's... I'm not a cancel culture person, but let's cancel all this, okay? If I say you have come here because you have been called, it may sound very strange. And this place has crossed you on your path of self-discovery. So self-discovery is not just sitting quiet in meditation and doing whatever you are doing. Self-discovery is through the journey of life. And if you go through life with open eyes, consciously, you will discover, even in a stone, something of that presence. So you have been called here. Sounds mysterious, but let's keep some mystery in life. Let's not give all the answers. That's the age of reason. Why you have come? Well, Mumbai, we all felt life is too hectic. Let's go to some place where we can chill for a time. You could have gone to the Himalayas. This is a good season. You didn't go. You could have gone to so many places. Somehow you got through this, that, different outer agencies. This is called the play of forces. And you landed up here today, and we are listening to each other, speaking of the Divine Mother. There is a line in Sri Aurobindo's Savitri. Nothing happens in the cosmic play but at its destined time and place. This world is not built by random bricks of chance. There is a meaning in each curve and line. So if you explore the meaning of why you are here, then you will have many things to discover. But each one has to explore in one's own way. There are no set answers, standard answers.
But eventually, do we get the answer?
There is no question that goes unanswered. We don't ask questions. There are no questions that go unanswered. Ask. Of course, it doesn't mean suddenly Akashvani hogi. Isliye tum yahan. Nahi, not like that. But ways of answering of the divine are prompting, suggestions, something will you feel inside, maybe a sentence. Slowly you don't stop. This is the beauty of Arjun. He doesn't stop till he ultimately Shri Krishna takes him to the grand disclosure of who he is and why he has been called to the war. In the beginning he simply says, you are a Kshatriya, fulfill your dharma. Arjun could have stopped there. Okay, you have told me, yes, my Swadharma as a Kshatriya is to fight, and these guys have done great wrong to me, I'll fight. That also he would have done the same thing. But Arjun doesn't stop there, and then he discovers he is the instrument of a grand design. Krishna has designed all this. He has come for all this. In that course, Arjun also discovers himself. What does he discover at some point? At some point, he tells Krishna, you are telling me all this. Who are you? We have been friends. I put my arms around your neck and suddenly I am discovering a new you. Who are you? And then he says, what I am telling you is not something new. This is a yoga I gave first to Vivaswan, and Vivaswan gave it to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshvaku, and Ikshvaku, then it was lost. Ikshvaku is the solar dynasty, Suryavanshi, Rama's lineage. And Manu is the progenitor, and beyond Manu is Vivaswan is the sun god. So he's more confused. He says, what are you saying? Just have a sun god and you have given. Then he says, Arjun, we have been together for lives, fighting the great battle of the ages. You don't know it, but I know it. And then it goes on. See, he doesn't stop. At the end he says, who are you? And then he says, you want to see me? Not with these eyes. And then he reveals Divya Drishti, and Shri Krishna appears. He says, why have you come here? And then what does Shri Krishna say? See the ways of God? We have an image of a goody God sitting and, chocolate, like chocolate heroes, so chocolate God distributing. He says, Kalosmi. I am time, the destroyer. Why have you come here? Lokakshay krita pravradho. I have risen to destroy these peoples. Just imagine what kind of image. And Arjun is shaken to core. He's seeing all the gods and goddesses inside him. And then he says, Nastu moha. I'm done. Okay, I agree. But he doesn't stop there. He says, now that you have seen this much, you must know the entire knowledge. And then at the end it comes, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. So don't stop the seeking. Don't be satisfied with half answers. God is very good at giving you half answers, because why? He wants to provoke you. And in life, events happen to provoke us to question. And this provocation is important because that's how we grow. He is not like that. Imagine a class 1 child, you give the knowledge of graduation. No, you can't. So if one is satisfied in a belief system, God does not push him. But if you want more, ultimately, who are you? I don't know. Then you will reach that point. So, always the answer will come. Raise new questions. There is a difference between seeking questions and a doubting. Doubting mind is doubting an answer. Seeking mind is wanting to understand further. Seeking mind is healthy mind. Doubting mind stops its progress. That difference we should know. Okay. Any other question?
So you have full faith that Kalki will come on a white horse. Like this.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I have given, by the way, on Oroma channel, regularly my talks get uploaded. So I have given elaborate talks on Kalki Avatar. Okay. And it'll be probably better to hear that. But one thing I'll tell you, because I'm not going to disclose what I have spoken there, not because I want you to go to the YouTube channel and listen, but because if I say, well, let's say if I say Sure Bindu is the Kalki, then I have to give you the whole logic and it may sound like, oh, okay, we get it. Everybody says his own Guru is Kalki. So I don't want you to go with that idea. But Sure Bindu actually fits into the criteria. What are the 4 criteria of Kalki avatar? Or of an avatar? One, he comes during a time of crisis. Okay? Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. Abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanshajaham. He comes to bring out the dharma. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. All these, and dharma sanstapna thai. What was the period of intense crisis? If you go back, people will say in 1900 beginning, there was an intense crisis of faith. Positivism, communism, scientific materialism, they were the demons ruling this world. So it was a total crisis of faith. To believe in God, you were outdated. Like all that I am saying as a doctor and all that. Oh, he's gone. Fortunately, divine gives you the logical mind so that you can argue out. But otherwise, that's how it would have been. Today, it's the cool thing. To have a guru is in thing. It's almost like having a psychiatrist. My psychiatrist, Sorry. So, my guru, I have a guru. So that's good, cool. But it was very difficult, those times. Crisis of faith, which is the worst crisis. All of the crises you can handle. If faith is intact, you can rebuild. But if faith is collapsed, then hope is on the verge of collapsing. If hope is gone, gone. So, dharmasya glani. In India, there were people who believed Sanatana Dharma is nonsense. And ultimately, see, success is ultimate story. The Western world has succeeded. So obviously, everything of theirs is better. So, dharmasya glani. Abhyuthanam dharmasya. What did Sri Aurobindo do? All the aspects of Sanatana Dharma, his writings on the Vedas, the Upanishads, the essays on the Gita, based on not just a typical, faith writing or something. He was a philologist. He knew nearly 32 languages, but 9 of them as an erudite. Shri Krishna's, he had all the realizations, and Shri Krishna himself gave him the new Nirukta. Nirukta is for grammar you need to have the etymology, the root through which he reinterprets the Vedas, the Upanishads. And for me, like reading Secret of the Vedas, like going gaga. Whatever I had read in my traditional family home, Vedas, I said, kya hai? After reading Sri Aurobindo, it was like my eyes were all open. Oh my God! It's like, oh my God, this is so good. So now I could understand it psychologically. This all happening inside me, I didn't realize it. It's not just some mumbo jumbo people putting those ladle and sitting in girva and all those running away. It's not like that. Something so deep. Veda is no wonder it's the backbone of Sanatana Dharma. So abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatma. Nobody else has done. The way Sri Aurobindo single-handedly has dealt with the Vedas, all the principal Upanishads, the Gita, and many other foundations of Indian culture. Okay. Paritranaya sadhunam. What does it mean? Humanity was at a crossroads, directionless, aimless. What was the choice before Sri Aurobindo's coming? Either this world as it is, which I don't need to say what it is, or moksha. Individual moksha. These were the two choices, no? Or you can try to make it better through science, but we know the limits. But individual moksha is so absurd at the end of the day. It's an extremely selfish act if you look at it. Not that anything wrong with it. But the way it was understood, not the way moksha really means freedom from ignorance. So those who are seeking the good, sadhunam is not just somebody doing charity, who are seeking good of this world, sadhu. They don't know which way to go. They don't want that kind of a mukti stuff. They want this world to become a better place. So paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. Two examples only I'll give of Sri Aurobindo. One is, he was taken to the Alipur jail, dragged by the British Empire. Why? Because they were scared of him. Intuitively they felt, and it was debated in the House of Commons in UK, that the one most dangerous man in India is Sri Aurobindo. His writings. Little did they know that by taking him to Alipur jail, one day the British Empire will be dragged down like that. Today, where is the British Empire? He fought against the British Empire, and even after he went to Pondicherry, he kept on putting his force behind the movement. He says that. It's not just a kind of, there are several letters. And he put his force with the Allies in the Second World War. Because he knew if Hitler and his cohort succeed, world will be in a mess. Nobody knew that time because people will felt, arey, Germans are against Britishers, good. But they didn't know what a horror this fellow is. And there are several letters. So, Vinashaya cha duskritam, single-handedly, when all the Indian leaders, most of them were still with Hitler, at least they were not, okay, let them fight it out. These Britishers. Sri Aurobindo had put all his force with the Allies. Cripp's proposal, all this, he would have had people listen to him. We would have had an undivided India at that point of time. So, Vinashaya cha duskritam. Dharma sansthapanatha. That means, dharma again, not religion, but a way of life which will lead man out of this towards a future. Because life cannot go backward. So, he gave the new dharma, the integral yoga. And with every dharma you have a scripture. So, he gave Savitri to lead us towards a luminous future. Beyond man, towards the superhumanity of tomorrow. So, Kalki avatar, the white horse is obviously, horse has always represented power, force. See, that's why rishis prayed for horses. And even today in physics, how do we measure horsepower? No? Then that is not superstition. But if a rishi is asked for horsey, they were asking for horses. In physics, you are measuring it as horsepower. You don't use the word. So horse, go meant light. Gopal, Govind, Govrind, Golok, Gop, Gopi. Go always meant light, and cow also. But it meant light. They were asking for Go and Ashwa. So white horse is embodying the supreme power. He comes with the supreme power. White, pure, ultimate power. The sword of discernment, which slays darkness. Read his 35 volumes. Can we just imagine somebody? And today I was on the car when we were coming with Abhilash. I had this as we were entering Temple Tree. He was saying, just imagine, he was sharing that, Sri Aurobindo wrote all this and he's asking, he doesn't know that in the evening they will get money for dinner or not. I was sharing the story of Sri Ramakrishna. That, when he was called by some people, and then he would ask them, will they give us boat fare and rickshaw fare? You feel tears in your eyes. The man is giving you so much, and he cannot ask. He has to just... Then he shared how Sri Aurobindo gave away his eyes literally. 6 years, 7 years writing those volumes. If you read them, it is just amazing. So he gave the way toward the future to all of us. And then that's the sword of knowledge with which he was slaying darkness. Any doubt you have, any questions, if you read through his letters on yoga, forget about all else, they just vanish. And then the mother, of course, the white horse. And the lame foot. It's very interesting. Kalki is also described as lame foot. Sri Aurobindo actually had a lame foot in 38 when, one of his feet break. But the lame foot also means you are being dragged backward as you are trying to go forward. And he describes all that. And he destroys whom? Mlecha. You've read the story of Kalki, no? Kalki, whom does he destroy? Mlecha. You know who were called Mlecha? When we were children, we used to hear who are Mlecha. I may sound like a racist, but that's how. The Westerners were regarded as Mlecha. It originally comes from Mal Iksha. You may be outwardly very nice, but your thoughts, your motives are not good. But Mlecha also referred to a way of life. So many of us, like for myself, grew up in a Hindu household. So typically, morning you have to take a bath, you have to go to Shaucha and all this. So when I went, my contact with the West, first time, 2000, I said, maybe 3 days, sometimes they don't take a bath, they don't go to washroom. I shared my room with a man. He was supposed to be one of the speakers with me. And he comes and he puts his, I am this. I said, okay. he opens his suitcase, takes out a pair of shoes and puts it on his bed. Now, I don't claim I am a very, but even to my senses it was shocking. You don't put your... भाई जूता अपनी जगह, किताब अपनी जगह. So the way of life was regarded as mlecha. Mlecha was actually word used that time. Now we don't need to use, because after coming in contact with India, they have improved. Yeah, many things they have learned. They took not only Kohinoor, they took Vedanta, they took Gita. And they came. Why everybody came in search of India? Just think about it. Everybody was seeking India. One fellow went all the way to America, thought they are Indians. That was God's Maya. He says, wait, you people will go and start shooting. Indians are too simple people, they will invite you. So they sent them to Red India and they call them Red Indians. And they thought we have finished Indians, but they didn't find the spices. But karma catches upon you. Now Indians went and invaded America. Everybody, most of those who are from Gujarat, know that you have a relative in New Jersey or somewhere.
Top 10 CEOs of the world are Indians.
I know. That's true. So, this whole thing they took away. And that whole thing was required for the world to progress. Because before that, Sanatana Dharma was largely within the confines. People went as far as Rome, they went as far as Cambodia and Indonesia, but it was like monks who were traveling, and except Cambodia, which the king had gone and he built the Angkor Wat. But largely it was people were traveling all around, like Guru Nanak went all the way to Medina. So like that, they were traveling and they conveyed something of the Indian culture. Certain things were picked up, but otherwise, people came to India thinking that they are coming to steal, rob, but God's secret plan. You fellows, what will you rob? You are vipanna, poor. You will grow richer by contact with India, India's soul. So whatever they robbed is over. Now India's economy is doing well. But they got some, it humanized, that contact opened them to spirituality. You see today, all over the world, this is not just an emotional or sentimental feeling. Sanatana Dharma. So, that's the whole story of Kalki Avatar. Kalki Avatar has come, done his bit. And that's why you see the world began to change in 60s. That's why you see today all of you outwardly, feminine gender are sitting and questioning. No, 50 years back, women traveling like this, Mumbai to Pondicherry, where? Huh?
All over by
All by this is unthinkable, really unthinkable. I mean, you just go. I know many of you have not experienced this, but some of us must be knowing this. Unthinkable. Hasn't the world changed? Who says world hasn't changed? Questioning mind, very good sign. Resurgence of Vedanta, resurgence of Sanatana Dharma. So Kalki Avatar has done his bit. He has destroyed those things which needed to be destroyed, but now it's our task to walk the way, and to walk the way, every avatar gives at the end of a yuga a scripture. So, Sri Krishna gave us the Gita, the Buddha gave us the Dhammapad, and Sri Aurobindo gave us Savitri. Okay? So, shall we? So don't worry any time. I mean, worry of course. Any time if you have questions later on, Oroma, you will have plenty of talks on different subjects. And there is another platform, Ask Alokda, where you can write your questions incognito and any questions about anything. And I'll try to use my answering machine. And these are all free of charges, Oroma and Ask Alokda. So you're most welcome. Yeah?